Hi, it's me again. Let's talk about Morgellons part two. Now, there's so much more I can say. I'd have to write it down. Literally, there's that many symptoms to this and that many facets to it, different levels of it. Um, I've been, I've been really bad on it. Thank God at the moment, I'm okay. I'm not great, but I'm okay. Um, Part two, I want to get a bit deeper. Now, strange insects have come out of my body. It's not the sort of thing you make up. Out of this world science fiction creatures have come out of my body. Synthetic fibers, all of this seems synthetic. I don't want to call it Morgellons. I want to call it Genetically Modified Organism Disease. That's what it should be called. That hasn't come from me, but I did not coin that, but I'm using it. Now, I have a constant ringing in my ears. It can get really bad at times, as if it's trying to put me off something. These black specks that come out of my skin, now I'm sure they're some kind of smart dust, which if you do some basic research does exist and is used for all kinds of reasons. I don't know why it would be used on human beings, innocent human beings, civilians. I don't know why. Now, there is a psychological component to this, which doctors love to, well, this is in your head. Now, I'll admit the psychological component comes from the trauma inflicted by this. About 3-4 years ago, I remember just giving up, crying in the corner on my bathroom floor, just sitting down and crying because I couldn't make sense of the things that were happening to me. And it's that coming to the terms with what is really going on. So there is a psychological component in that respect, and sometimes the lack of sleep, but really it's the trauma. And the worst thing is when you go to a doctor's and you're expecting help, and they dismiss you very easily without really looking into it. You can't without looking into it, but they do. So that's where the psychological part comes from. Yeah, we're depressed, we cry, we're upset at that. We're at our wits' end, we're desperate. And the one person that you think is going to help you tells you that you're imagining this when you know you're not. And I have a suspicion they know you're not. So there is some kind of cover-up going on. There, I've said it, cover-up. I'm sure my brother will call me a conspiracy theorist. That's the laziest word in the world. If you don't want to do any research, just call somebody a conspiracy theorist. But I believe my government, Okay, so I've watched fibers painfully grow out of my hands and my arms. Sticky fibers, painfully. You watch them, it's like they're growing in fast forward. You can see them actually growing. They're not mine. Where have they come from? They're all over my body in this biofilm. I can demonstrate it quite easily now. It's something I'll do in the future for sure. There may be some doubters out there. I'm sure there's plenty of them. So I've had flies emerge from my skin. I've watched it happen. I've seen them come out of my skull in front of the mirror. So this is not something that I would make up. I mean, who wants to admit that they have bugs coming out of them? I'd rather just get on with my life, thank you very much. But this is real. They've invaded my brain. They're in my brain. I have memory problems. I have brain fog. And this has distinctly come on. I might have always been a little bit clumsy, always been maybe a little bit forgetful, but this is on a different scale, okay? This is preventing me from being me and being able to do a job have a proper career and fulfill my potential. This is serious. I used to have lacerations all over my body as well. I still have wounds that are very slow healing, and some wounds that just don't really heal at all. Every time I go to the doctors, everyone's stumped. Oh, send me to that specialist, that specialist. They don't know. They don't want to. Now, there is evidence that suggests these fibers are being dispersed from above. Dispersed from above. There's evidence. You can go to cliffordcarnicom.com. So people have conducted studies. There is some private money that's gone into this. It's all private money. Your government, our government, ain't going to put any money into this. I suspect they're the ones that cause it. That's why. So studies have conducted to try and explain neurological and physical symptoms suffered from lots of people starting about 20 years ago. I have a constant runny nose, ringing in my ears that can be really bad. Blurred vision in my right eye, which is quite common to get with other people from what I've read. Achy joints and just the fatigue. I'm an outdoorsy sort of guy. I work out. It's really affecting all of this. I have fatigue really badly. I mean, I could sleep 20 hours a day if I wanted to. I could quite easily. Who has the balls to talk about where this is coming from? I said it was dispersed above me, didn't I? So I'm going to say the word chemtrails. Okay. Now, this is where most of the population will call you, conspiracy theorist, nut job. Because the truth is not very appealing at all. I'd rather just pull the covers over my head and hell no, I don't want to know about that. Oh, you're very cynical, Gareth. You're very cynical. I was never cynical until this happened to me. I didn't believe in this stuff until it happened to me. I had a huge ego. I thought I knew everything. I used to poo-poo so many people. Anything out of the ordinary. UFOs, you're a nutcase. Chemtrails, what's that? I didn't even want to know. You get your tinfoil hat out, dickhead. Then this happens to you. And you're forced to question everything. Everything. Everything I thought was real, I question now. Because, ladies and gentlemen, the world isn't quite what we're led to believe it is. And lots of people are waking up to this. So who has the balls to talk about this with me, Now, I know a lot of people seem to be under a spell of blissful ignorance. This could be through just education system where everything's knocked out of you, especially higher education, where there's this narrative, the world is this way, science knows this, that, and if you think otherwise, you're an idiot, you're a nutcase. Okay, that used to be me. I've got to ask myself, where's this ignorance come from? Is it simply constructed through, TV, social media, education? Lee Harvey Oswald killed JFK. Don't quit, go back to bed, America, as Bill Hicks used to say. Now, I call it brainwashing, really. How so many people have been have this narrow view of the world, the planet, the life, how everything works. And if you think outside it, you get called conspiracy theorist, and your personality gets attacked because you actually have, I can back up a lot of what we say. There's studies, there's evidence, there's lots of evidence about things. So then your character gets attacked. That's what happens naturally. We have, everyone thinks we're alone in the universe, and, you're a nut job if you think otherwise. And, now I think otherwise now. But then again, working 50, 60 hours a week when I lived in California, in a soul-destroying job. You just don't have the energy to question anything else, or to even think about anything else. You come home, you're knackered. It's the weekend, football's on, beers, yeah, Dancing with the Stars, X Factor. You've got no fucking time to question anything or energy. Let's pop out some kids. Let's just carry this thing on. Let's create. Let's not think about anything. Let's not think about the end game. Well, I have to question it all now. And this is being sprayed above us in chemtrails. Now, that opens the door to a whole shitstorm of possibilities and discussions and arguments, which I'm not going to. I just want people to start talking about Morgellons. This is real. Hey, I might be wrong. It might not be sprayed from above us. But there's something being sprayed from above us. And there's something made me and a lot of people very unwell. And who's got the balls to talk about this with me? I'd love to hear from somebody. I'd love to meet up with somebody and talk about challenging and making our voice heard. Challenging the authority. Let's do something about this, Yeah, I want to find a cure. I want to get better. But also, let's not be afraid of the reality. There's something menacing going on with the military-industrial complex, with the pharmaceutical industry, with shadow governments. Who's really running the show? What are their motives? What's their agenda? And is there some kind of and why are so many people blind to it? I think it could be a specific reason for that. Okay, love to hear from you all. Let's do this.